Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I am joined by my lovely wife,
Riding Raven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Yes.
The segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. Just a scattering of the topics throughout the week, summarized in one convenient little package for your enjoyment. You're welcome.
Or not.
Anyways, we got a lot to cover this week, so without further ado,
let us begin. First client is Lego.
Okay, so a while back we covered that Lego came out with this inclusivity and diversity Lego set that's featured here.
For Pride Month.
But they've taken it a step further. So as you can see here, it says, "How do you do, fellow LGBTQ plus peeps?" And then it says, "In promotion of a new campaign focused on advocating for female inclusivity in consumption of their products, Lego has announced that they'll be taking steps to ensure Lego products and marketing are accessible to all and free of gender bias and harmful stereotypes."
First off, there was never any gender bias in Lego. They have a whole section called Lego Friends, which is specifically marketed for girls. And my first Lego set was a boys brand when they released a set of Martian figurines.
Yeah, and this is just, look, Lego is meant for a wide audience.
Yes.
It is not meant for one people over the other. So what bothers me more about this is the fact that it's like they're trying to be part of the trend, which, as you can see, how do you do, fellow LGBTQ peeps?
It's not working.
Originally, I made that guy say, "End my suffering."
Why didn't you keep that?
Because it wasn't as funny.
Aw.
But look, I used to play Lego a lot when I was younger. My wife did too. I'm
did.
sure a lot of you did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think much is going to change from this? No.
Absolutely not.
Do I think this is Lego trying to be all hip and with the times? Yes, it definitely is.
Oh, absolutely.
So in other words, it's definitely just a virtue signal, and it's not even a very good one.
No.
Because again, just saying that means nothing. What are you going to do? If you are going to pander to people, what are you going to do? You're going to remove harmful gender stereotypes, such as...
all of your figurines are the same shape.
Yeah, and also it's funny because it's what bias and gender stereotypes?
Exactly.
You can literally customize it to be whatever you want.
That's the whole point of your product.
But they don't get that. They just want to be hip and with the times, and so they end up just looking just like that.
Just another way they're gonna lose money. Let's move on to the next client. Lord of the Rings.
Alright, so we have Lord of the Rings. We haven't covered this in a little while, but actor Lenny Henry recently confirmed that there will be radical changes to the hobbits in the Amazon's upcoming The Lord of the Rings series. And as you can see, Gandalf says, "I think I shall pass."
I think we all will.
The works of Tolkien were written with a certain place, time, ethnicity, all this other stuff in mind.
Yes.
When you go about changing it to suit your own agendas, like adding black hobbits or Asian elves, that doesn't work.
No.
It's not about being biased or being not inclusive. It's about it does not work with the established lore.
Or the established world that the author created. In general, world building creates a set of rules. And each race in the world that you build has its own characteristics. So elves are generally written as fair, pale peoples, and dark elves are their opposites, which means they are more dark. So if you're going to tell us that there are now dark-skinned elves that are just elves and not dark elves, that, to all of us who know fantasy, makes no sense.
That, and also it's I need to be inclusive. Yes, but you need to also be, as you said, within the frame of the world and with the frame of the lore. For example, it would be like adding female troops to Saving Private Ryan, the movie. That did not have any females.
Of course, because in that era, there were no women in the military except as nurses.
So I get why you would want representation, I do. But if it doesn't work with the established lore, you're just making it worse.
Yeah.
And to come out and say this just goes to show you that they already know that the show's not going to do well. Because here's the thing. If you want to normalize inclusivity and, all this stuff, you wouldn't have to come out and make a huge statement about it now, would you?
That's true.
And when you do that, there's actually adverse effects, which again, is an article that we'll discuss a different time, probably
Yes.
on my own. It's not surprising that they're doing this. It's been announced for a while, but now it's like been finally confirmed. Again, them having, nude actors on set and stuff like that to make them comfortable. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I already knew this was going to be a train wreck, but now they've confirmed it. And as Gandalf says, very eloquently, I think I shall pass. Because I don't want to watch something that doesn't fit with the lore. And think about this for a change, okay? Mm-hmm. If this is supposed to be a prequel, like in the Silmarillion, right? Okay, so you now have all these ethnic diverse elves and hobbits and whatever, and then in Lord of the Rings they just all disappeared.
I think Clownfish TV said the same thing.
Yeah, but again, oops, they all disappeared.
Yeah.
How diverse and inclusive of you.
It completely destroys the established story if you create a prequel that has nothing to do with the established story.
That, and also, the characters wouldn't be accurate. Okay, so they all just decided, you know what, peace out, we're all leaving now, bye.
And I don't think with Lord of the Rings you can use alternate universe excuses.
I don't know what they'll use as excuses. The point is, this is just stupid at this point. It's just blatant pandering, and it's blatant because if it wasn't something you needed to feel the pander to, you wouldn't have to make a whole big article and hubbub about it if you wanted to normalize it, which you're not doing.
Yeah. So let's move on. Next up, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Where did you find this garbage hot take? Rotten Tomatoes. Ghostbusters Afterlife reviews are rolling in from critics who have seen the film that stars Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Carrie Coon. Now, I want to preface this by saying, we've heard some good things about this movie.
Indeed we have.
But obviously, there are always going to be those people who don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's actually doing decent. It's got like an 81%, should be higher, I think. But the problem that we're going to touch on here is the 5 or so critics who decided that because it didn't involve Ghostbusters 2016, which again, I'm going to repeat myself, let it die.
That thing is an abomination that should never have been made, like Twilight.
Let it die. It's okay. It wasn't a good movie. We can all acknowledge it and move on. If you like it, go ahead and like it. But you're not getting more. You know you're not getting more. And getting angry about another movie because you decided it doesn't include what you wanted, that's review bombing. Where are the articles covering this, huh? Oh, that's right. It's only review bombing when we do it.
Why does it always have to be so one-sided?
Because that's what they want. They want us to make us out to be the villains. So again, Rotten Tomatoes itself is a terrible site. It's not a good place to determine anything anymore.
No.
I look at it to see, because I'm curious to see how big of a gap it shows.
Yeah, these days, if the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is high, you avoid the movie. If it's low, you go see the movie.
Yeah, and again, it's not saying there aren't exceptions, and it's not saying you can't enjoy movies that are highly rated by critics or lowly rated by critics. What we're saying is that there's no reason to lash out or bash down a movie based on the fact that it doesn't include things that you want it to include. If you want a sequel for Ghostbusters 2016, how about instead of whining and writing articles about how the inhumanity of it all, why don't you go film it yourself?
There is such thing as fan films and fan fictions. Why don't you do that?
Or why don't you campaign for it? Why don't you come up with a good story and campaign for it? Oh wait, that's right, that requires effort, and you'd have to get off your butt and actually do something instead of just writing articles whining about it, right?
It would also require brains and an ounce of creativity.
I think this movie actually is going to be good. It sounds like it's going to be good. I could be wrong.
Oh, but I think it's going to be good. This is a movie I want to see.
Me too. I want to see it, and the reason I'm seeing it is because, again, it's another time where they cater to the fans. The fans did not like 2016. Do I think that we really needed a Ghostbusters reboot or any sequel at all? Not really. But if you're going to do it, you do it right.
And this one seems to be doing it right.
They're listening to the fans, they're taking them into account, and that's what was important all along. That's what you should have done from the beginning. The 2016 Ghostbusters is over. It's not coming back. If you don't like it, I'm sorry to tell you, it just didn't do well. And you can claim it on review bombing or anything you want. That's not true. You know it. And if you like it, you're more than welcome to. That doesn't mean you're entitled to anything. Mm-hmm. Get that into your heads.
Yes. And with that, we move on to the Home Alone reboot.
Oh boy.
We could not talk about this one.
Home Sweet Home Alone, the latest attempt to inject life back into the classic Home Alone franchise, will arrive November 12th on Disney+. Plus.
And it is going to suck.
And we've seen a trailer for it, and it's bad.
The trailer itself sucked.
It's like a remake of the original, which, again, didn't need a remake.
Not at all.
And it's like British.
Yeah, why are they British?
That's it. The only other noticeable change I saw was that instead of having it be Marv and Harry, the two bad guys, it's now a guy and a girl. Not sure why we had to be, I guess for diversity purposes.
Also because the girl is going to be the boss. They already did that in the fourth Home Alone.
Whatever. And they've tried to make sequels to Home Alone. Home Alone 2 was not bad.
It was
I didn't mind it. It was kind of a rehash of the original, just a bit different.
Yeah.
But it was fine. The rest, number 3 was I didn't really like it either. But like the rest of them after that was just garbage.
Yeah. But the first will always be a classic.
Yes, and this is not going to be a classic. And even putting the motto of your movie being classics were made to be broken. Yeah, good job. You broke it.
They do that with a lot of things. And the worst part about this remake is it doesn't even feature Kevin.
Now, if you have watched the trailer, you will see that there is a clip in the trailer where you see on a police officer's uniform, you see McAllister on it. It's not Macaulay Culkin. It is actually Buzz, his brother from the movie. I forget the name of the actual actor.
Same.
People were asking if Macaulay Culkin was going to be in it, and he actually came on Twitter and said, like, he's not involved. So, not only are you going to make a remake of a movie that doesn't need a remake of it, and you're not going to change anything.
You're making a remake without the main actor from the original having a cameo? Are you stupid? Yes.
You answered yourself.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, look, it could be good. I don't think so. Most people were kind of saying that they didn't want to watch it already. And look, again, could it be a decent movie? I guess, but like, I'm gonna watch the original, the classic, the one that actually is like, good. I'm not gonna watch this new one. And I guarantee if it does somewhat okay, there'll be another one.
Or even if it does badly, there will still be one in the works.
And it's a shame, because the actor playing the kid, I don't know what his name is actually pretty decent. But it's just...
He's gonna have his whole reputation and career ruined if this movie does badly, which it will.
I don't think it's worth to reboot things, make new original ideas. I would have been interested to see a movie where maybe Macaulay Culkin had a son of his own and was put in the situation. Or maybe something like that. You could have made a really good twist on this, and you did not.
Yes, you could have had Kevin being the one to leave his own kid at home. That would have been brilliant!
It would have been kind of funny, because it would have been like, well, you just did it. You left you at home, left you by yourself twice. But
and now you've done it to your own kid. Have you learned nothing?
Yeah, but it would be kind of funny if you called his parents and were like, hey, and I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, now you know how we felt, kind of thing. It'd be kind of funny. But again, look, it's just going to be, it's Home Sweet Home Alone. How about Home Sweet Nobody Asked for It? Yeah.
And next we discuss the first look at the Willy Wonka movie.
So as you can see, he says, I don't look terrible. Timothy Chalamet looked well and truly in character as he filmed scenes for Wonka in Bath on Wednesday. The actor, 25, is taking on the lead role of Willy Wonka in the fantasy film, which serves as a prequel
to Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, look, I don't think we need a prequel. Honestly, I don't. I don't think we even need the remake, but, it was okay. I'm not opposed to this. I was not, interested, but he actually looks not bad. I could look at him and see that would be a young Wonka, couldn't you?
Yeah. To me, that does look like a younger version of Gene Wilder.
So, again, I will at least give them credit for that, not making him, black or something to just pander to people or making it, But here's the thing. I'm calling it now. If this movie revolves around him learning how to be better because of a strong women, then you heard it first here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it looks good. Whether it'll be good, don't know. And quite frankly, as I've mentioned multiple times, it's not my job to say it's good anymore. It's my job, it's Hollywood's job to convince me that it's not crap.
Well, so far, the behind-the-scenes filming of him singing one of the numbers, he actually didn't sound too bad.
Yeah, but that all doesn't matter if Hollywood is one behind it.
True. If the plot and the writing is bad, then the whole movie will be bad. Which we're hoping it's not, because first look, I have a good impression.
Yeah, look, we'll hope it's good. We're not here to say poo 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 poo, but again, I'm hoping it's good. I'm not going to say, oh, it looks good and that must mean it is good. No. it looks okay. Whether it will be okay, time will tell.
Indeed.
But it's Hollywood's job to convince me of that, not the other way around anymore.
Yes. And so we move on to Marvel Comics.
Marvel and DC Comics. Now, this is a new rumor that suggests that Disney and Warner Bros. Have gotten fed up with what their Marvel and DC Comics employees, respectively, are saying on social media. Now, I want to emphasize that this is a rumor. This is not for sure.
But if it is true, it's about damn time.
As you can see, I had some fun here with the bad Captain Marvel art. Your free reign is over, Dan. No, not my Twitter! How will I block people I don't like without ever interacting with them now?
You won't.
And if, as anyone doesn't realize, that's Dan Slott. I believe he's in Marvel Comics, and he's known for blocking people on social media, such as myself, when I've never interacted with him, because he doesn't like people who are like, in quote-unquote Comicscape, which never said I was a part of. I do endorse some of their books, and I like some of their stuff, but that doesn't make me anything. But of course, Dan has to always have hot takes on the subject and block anybody that he doesn't like, so he's blocking potential customers.
Yep.
And this is just a very good example of what they like to do, is they go online, they make everything about politics, hate on their customers, do all this kind of stuff, and as a result, if this is true, it would not surprise me. Now, we'll have to wait and see whether it actually happens, but it would be a welcome change.
Indeed. Now the question is, if it does end up happening, will the employees follow it?
Who knows? I would hope that there's actually penalties for them not following it, but we'll have to wait and see. There are so many people who are doing this now and online and taking shots at the fans and their potential customers. You should not say anything.
Yep.
Go online, promote your comic, and get off. That's what you should do. They even have Dan Slott, I think, in like a Marvel documentary, getting a Twitter notification and going, "Oh, Twitter!" and running over.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? How about you do your job instead of spending half your life on social media? Oh wait, sorry, not half your life, because that would imply you had a whole one, which we probably can guess you don't.
Ouch.
But again, if this is true, wave goodbye to your cell phone and Twitter, Dan. Can't say, I'll be sad to see you go. Not that I can see you at all because you blocked me, like a hypocrite. Oh no, I follow people you don't like. Aww, the world's smallest violin would weep for you if it cared enough.
And with that, we move on to Superman.
Oh boy, so as you can see, time to kiss up to the mainstream media. And yes, I did take out the person he was kissing and replaced it with all the different news networks.
It's brilliant.
DC Comics confirms that their new Superman, Jonathan Kent, the son of Clark Kent, is attracted to men. John Kent was already an established character that didn't really need this, but whatever. Putting that aside, I also want to bring up the point that they also have now changed the motto of Superman as well. This is more recent news that broke a day ago.
That he now, instead of saying truth, justice, and the American way, he says truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And most people seem to be upset that they took out the American way, but it turns out there's a reason for that.
So, actually, the props to Ethan Van Sciver, I saw this on Twitter, that apparently Ethan had speculated that one of the reasons that they had changed it was because they had lost the copyright for it. And lo and behold, someone fished around and found that that is indeed true. They did lose the copyright to the truth, justice, and the American way. Now, is this exactly the reason why they changed it? Probably not. This just goes to show you, here's another example of pandering, changing a person's sexuality when there's no reason to. And people were all going, "It's the best thing ever! Oh my gosh!" And they won't buy the comics.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you got like 5 moments of fame, and then no one will be talking about it in a week.
Yep.
And of course, Tom Taylor, the guy who literally wrote this, decided to go on a blocking spree and block anyone who mentioned him because, again, these people who, for being so inclusive and diverse, can't seem to be inclusive or diverse in regards to people who have different opinions than them. Kind of hypocritical, don't you think?
Indeed.
Working so hard to make things inclusive and diverse while blocking and completely doing the opposite. So who's the bigot here?
The other person.
But again, he's not kissing that. He's kissing like a pink-haired weirdo who's a hacktivist and
whatever that means.
And there's even like pictures of him holding up a bunch of like signs like "Save the environment." He's freaking Superman. He could save the environment if he wanted to.
Yeah, it's like they're doing a climate change protest while there is a giant monster storm brewing behind them. People are probably about to die from this tornado, but no, let me partake in an activist march instead.
Yeah, because, again, DC Comics has no ideas, and this is not going to help them. Yes, congratulations, you got a week of fame, and by next week, no one will be talking about this.
No.
It'll be over.
Yeah.
But again, this just goes to show you another blatant thing of pandering. Superman's gay, oh boy!
No, he is not.
Watch how they get him with Robin, the Tim Drake.
Oh dear.
At this point, nothing surprises me anymore. And Ethan Van Sciver called it way ahead of time, so props to him.
Hail the human sunbeam. And finally, we discuss Disney Star Wars.
Alright, so this is our last client for today. We have Content Shotgun Blast Go! A new rumor claims that Lucasfilm and Disney Plus are developing a series based on a Force-sensitive female bounty hunter.
Bad idea.
It's not even that it's a bad idea, like, why? You have so many Star Wars properties, and you were saying how there was a thing about Star Wars fatigue, then you changed your mind, and now it's like, Content Shotgun Go! Boom!
I mean, they have a female bounty hunter in Star Wars, and her name is Aura Singh, and she is a badass.
And they have other ones as well, but like, from what I was reading about it, apparently they say that they're speculating that it might be Omega.
Ugh.
And they're also speculating that it will be more like not for kids. And it's like, look, you had one success with The Mandalorian. And by success, I'm using the term loosely, it wasn't trash. But then you fired Gina, and you made all this controversy about it, and having some trouble filming it now? But then also, you're just like making all these shows and stuff, and there's zero reason for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now it's like, oh, we got one hit, quick, shotgun blast. Scattergun!
Make a bunch of spin-offs from it.
Oh look, some stayed on the wall. Woohoo!
Let's film it.
It gets to this point where you're just like not at all surprised by this anymore, and it's just like there's no point in this. There's no point in making a show about this. Like I'm not saying it couldn't be good, but like at this point, like how about you get out the Star Wars content you promised first? Before you start throwing more into the mix, because you can't even get the ones that you said you were going to get out yet. So why don't you try first to do that and then come back? But no, that would require a smart, capable person leading your company, which evidently they don't have.
What he said. And that's all we have, which means it is time for the diagnosis of the week.
Yep, and we're reusing a diagnosis that we discussed before, but we felt it fit very well here today.
Do tell us what it is.
So the diagnosis of the week is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Remind everyone what it is.
The Dunning-Kruger effect is basically it's a cognitive bias where people with low ability overestimate their ability. Basically, for the long story short, as it shows here, basically what it's describing is that it's people who are so incompetent that they believe that they're actually competent.
It's quite a contradiction, but it is a thing.
Yeah, and it's quite funny because it's literally what everybody's doing now. They think they're so clever. Home Sweet Home Alone, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Lego Diversity, Superman's gay. But all it is they think they are so clever when in reality it's because they're so incompetent that they can't even see that for themselves. So that's why I think Dunning-Kruger effect is a very good diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now it's time
for the remedy of the week.
And we have actually a great remedy for you. Now we know our last topic discussed a content shotgun, but if you are actual fans
of shotguns and
battles that don't involve lawsuits, we'll recommend for you Shotgun Samurai on Indiegogo. Donkey Madness on Twitter is the one who created this, and we're actually going to have a little bit of clips of it going in the background. But anyways, it's a good story. It's a traditional kind of samurai with a very non-traditional weapon, a shotgun, not a sword. It's very interesting. It's available now on Indiegogo. You can go back it today. There'll be a link in the description down below. But head on over there, grab your shotguns, head on over, and tell them that Gothic Therapy referred you. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged. Also, follow us both on Twitter at Master of the TDS and at Writing Raven 2. Follow my husband on Twitch at Master of the TDS. Follow me on Wattpad at Gothic Writer 613 for good stories that are not at all woke. And we also have a Discord now, which will be linked in the description.
Yeah, and also as well, we have 2 Instagrams, one for me at Master of TDS and one for the channel at
yt.gothic.therapy.
You can follow us there. We're not as active there, but you guys can follow us there as well. But yeah, check out our Discord server, The Clinic. It'll be linked below. Check out Shotgun Samurai on Indiegogo. There'll be a link in the description for that. And we'll see you all next week.
Gothic Therapy, out.
Catch us on the web.